the House of the Dragon trailer will finally be revealed. In the last hours, different promotional images of the House of the Dragon have flooded the social networks before the imminent arrival of the trailer of the second season. In this video, we will be talking about everything you should know about this second season of the House of the Dragon. And for more videos of your favorite series and movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Welcome to the Oasis Geek. The news about the release of the first trailer for the second season of the House of the Dragon comes after the trailer was shown to a small circle of people at a press event last month. Since then, fans have been anxiously awaiting this trailer. In the promotional images, we can see a frightened Alicent with the words "blood for blood" and a vengeful Rhaenyra with tears in her eyes and the words "fire to fire," which means that the fight between the two this next season will be one never seen before in the House of the Dragon. But what will happen this upcoming season? Or what should we expect in it? The first thing you should know about this second season of the House of the Dragon is that it won't have the big time jumps we saw in the first season, which showed full decades. The reason is simple. The creators wanted to focus mainly on the Dance of the Dragons, the key moment in Targaryen history when the Great Civil War occurs. The first season served as a prequel to set the stage for what was to come later. We can say that the series really kicked off in episode 9. Everything that happened before that was the necessary preamble to introduce the characters. Season 2 will take a slower and more Game of Thrones-like style. It will no longer have these big time jumps. It will only focus on the conflict between the green side and the side of Queen Rhaenyra. Another important point is that producer Ryan Condal mentioned that in this first season, he had not left room for comedy or for a little more relaxed scenes. This is something that could be added to next seasons. Many have theorized that we will finally see a character from the books called Mushroom, who was a jester of the king and who also was a dwarf. Also, director Miguel Sapochnik resigned as showrunner. But it is thought that this is because Miguel will be in charge of producing other series such as Corlys Velaryon and Aegon the Conqueror, although there were also other problems with his wife. According to what has been mentioned to the press, the House of the Dragon is expected to last at least 4 seasons, and then expand into other stories of the same family. That is, the story of Aegon the Conqueror. But what will happen this second season? How has Rhaenyra become something similar to Daenerys? In this second season, we can expect many betrayals and conflicts, as well as a big event similar to the confrontation between Lucerys and Aemond. We will no longer see the sweet and innocent Rhaenyra of the first season, but a version more like Daenerys Targaryen, the mad queen who wished to conquer Westeros. The first season concludes with Rhaenyra accepting that she must go to war after the loss of her son Lucerys. Her grief is so great, she will not stop until she burns all of King's Landing. Debts will be settled, but at what cost? According to the book, Fire and Blood, after Rhaenyra heard the news, she collapsed to the ground, unable to bear the pain of losing one of her sons. Her son Jace was still traveling north to make alliances for his mother. Upon hearing of what had happened, Joffrey, one of Luke's younger brothers, was the first to raise his voice and swear an oath of vengeance against Aemond and the Lord of Storm's End, Boros Baratheon. Of course, Joffrey was barely a boy. He raced to mount his dragon to fly to Storm's End, but Rhaenys and Corlys Velaryon managed to stop him. Here is where the story of the book and the series change a bit. In the book, Daemon was at Harrenhal, but in the series, he is at Rhaenyra's side when he gives her the news of Lucerys' death. Therefore, we understand that the words Daemon sent to Rhaenyra on a raven in the book will be said to her in person during the Black Small Council meeting in the series. While the Black Council is analyzing what the attack will be, in response to the loss of Lucerys, Daemon says the following words: "An eye for an eye, a son for a son. Lucerys will be avenged." It is at this point that Daemon begins to create a plan to destroy the Greens, starting with what they want most. Daemon, for a time, was the sergeant of the Golden Cloaks. During that time, he spent his time drinking wine and going from brothel to brothel in King's Landing. Daemon knew all the nooks and crannies, and many people respected him. This means that even though Aegon had become king, he was surrounded by Daemon's friends. Daemon then contacts one of his faithful companions, Lady Mysaria, or as others know her, the White Worm. The revenge, it had to be one that would impact the heart of the new king, so a plan was devised. Lady Mysaria, although in recent decades had increased her power and influence in the kingdom, the Hightowers made a move and attacked her house. We can even see a scene in episode number 9, where her home is seen in flames. But Daemon's friends survived this attack. This gave her more encouragement to help Daemon. Daemon even had friends in the Green Small Council itself. Unbeknownst to him, the Hightowers were infiltrated by allies of the Rogue Prince as a whole. Lady Misery, as she would be called from then on, hired 2 men from the Flea Bottom. The first was a former knight of the city guard, a cruel man who was expelled from this group for ending the life of a woman while he was drunk. A man who no longer has anything to lose and who has been accused of the worst, would be willing to do anything for money. The second man was a simple rat hunter from the Red Keep. These are known as Blood and Cheese. The rat hunter, Cheese, knew perfectly well all the streets near the fortress and every corner of the fortress itself, as he went into all the tunnels to hunt these rodents. This meant that Cheese knew how to evade all the guards and other people in the fortress. He knew how to get to the most hidden places in the Red Keep. These secret tunnels were built by King Maegor the Cruel so that he could escape from his enemies. They are the same tunnels used by Tyrion Lannister after taking his father's life. It was not difficult for Blood and Cheese to enter the Red Keep during the night. Some think that they wanted to end the life of the king, but after what happened, it is known that the goal was someone else. Blood and Cheese went into Queen Alicent's room. The queen had moved into this room after the loss of King Viserys. Cheese took the queen, tied her hands, and covered her mouth. They proceeded to eliminate one of the maidens accompanying the queen and sat down to wait. Everything was planned, and everything was going according to plan. Blood and Cheese knew that Helaena was about to arrive with her children, and they finished them off. The trauma of the son's death affected Helaena all her life, and it was the beginning of the end for the Hightower and the Targaryen family. We'll talk about what happened on that sad day, possibly tomorrow after the trailer premiere. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel. But tell me, what do you think? Are you ready for the next season of the House of the Dragon? And for more videos of your favorite series and movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You're on The Oasis Geek.